Hello, hello, hello. How's everyone doing? Can you guys hear some music in the background? There should be a little bit. There we go. Can you hear me okay? Shall I put some more volume? Let me know if it's okay, if it sounds okay. I'm just going to try and check myself actually. See if it's all working according. Okay, here we are. Testing, testing. Okay, it sounds okay. How's everyone's week going? Move, put a little bit more volume on the background music, see if it... The thing is that you can't really check. Okay, sounds okay. Alright, cool. How you doing, mate? You alright? Let me get comfortable in my chair. This chair actually is not that great. Anyway. So. Today I have an idea already in mind. Not sure if everyone is going to be on board. But I think it can be interesting. I don't want to be here on a 3-hour stream to bore you guys to death. What I am going to do, however, is show you what I had in mind. Okay. So, different more background. You can hear, is it too loud? Just let me know if it's too loud. Yeah. So, there's this firm I work for, right? This is the firm I work for. We recently did a few projects. We're finishing this one here. This is a project we called Saeta. These photos don't do it justice. But the logic behind this is quite parametric, although we didn't do it parametrically speaking. We did it via 3D modeling in Rhino. So I actually have better images here. Let me just open it up. I have it on my WhatsApp. This is on-site images. Yeah, a few pictures we took. It's really nice. And I was thinking of grabbing this idea and taking it to Grasshopper and seeing how we can kind of evolve it a little bit more, you know, or play around with it. Oh, these are other buildings we're doing right now. We finished this tower here and we're doing the next one here, just out of curiosity. These two are also ours. Anyway, yeah, I was thinking of taking this design and see it how we can play around with it a little bit more. Let me just put it in my WhatsApp. Don't want to expose much. You can see here it's done with GRC material, and there's like this figure in the middle which is black instead of white, just to kind of contrast to make it a little bit more interesting. So yeah, I was thinking of kind of grabbing this concept and then instead of doing it with a square base with a fillet, perhaps doing it with a polygon or a circular sort of floor plan, and then playing around with the scale. So yeah, this is the firm I work at. My job is to design these buildings along with my team, the team I work with. We have a lot of projects actually. A year we probably handle around 60 to 70. Oh, this one's beautiful as well. I really like this one. This was a competition we won. Beautiful design. This is being constructed now, so these are just renders. Yeah, beautiful. We do a lot of projects. A lot. Perhaps one a week, more or less. Yeah, just crazy amount. Anyway, so that was an idea I have, and then there's this as well. I know this looks super attractive, but I'm not a huge fan. Like I'm thinking of just doing the Saeta project, this one here. You can see here there's like the terraces are like one yes, one no, one yes, one no, and that's because if you build a terrace on top of another, that counts as constructible surface, and then you have a limit of constructible surface per plot. So doing it like this, it doesn't technically count because you have two heights instead of one, So this doesn't count as an overlapping surface. So it's kind of a trick to kind of save or have more meters squared designated to the housing unit in the middle. So here there's two units, one on the left, one on the right, and then you can see each one has a terrace. So it's going one yes, one no, yeah, yes, no, yes, no. And then we kind of worked it out that way. Ingenious solutions, right? Design is important, even for constructive design. Anyway, so I'm thinking of doing that. Now, if there's no opposition to this idea, we can get into it and see how we can kind of approach it. Again, we're not going to do exactly this. It would be a little bit different. But yeah, that's the idea. So, yeah, that was a little insight as to what we do in our office on a daily business. I'm part of the design team, so that's fun. Okay, so let's work it out. So the idea is to have a polygon. We're going to have lots, just like a copy and paste in the vertical axis in the Z direction. We're going to scale it. If we look at the image, it starts smaller, gets bigger towards the center, and then smaller at the top. Right? There is a correlation there. So we're going to start off with an easy polygon. I'm going to start off with a square. Let me just make some more space. XY plane. Radius between 0 and 15. I'm going to start off with 10 maybe. Segments, I'm going to start off with a square base for now. So 4 sides. Oh, I just did something. There we go. Here we're going to go for construct point. Where are you? Here. I'm going to use a series for Z because I want multiple polygons along the Z axis. The height difference is going to be the height of a slab between slabs. I'm going to say 3.3 more or less. I think this project was 3.2 if I'm not wrong. Just as a quick note. Here on count, I'm going to go for... Oh, I shouldn't have done decimals. Between 0 and 30. Here I'm going to say 20. I think this one had 22 floors. No, I might be exaggerating. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, about 15, 16 floors. So this is the square. You know what? I think a circular will probably be better. Okay, let's fill it. I think it's going to be better. So fillet radius. If I do maximum fillet, it's gonna... Oh, why is it not interpreting as a curve? What's happening here then? Parameter failed to collect data. Okay, so I'm using the wrong fillet, basically. That's not it again. It's this one here. There we go. Okay, so here I'm using a fillet of 1. Okay. I'm gonna do here. Okay, so how can we achieve some sort of design in between? Doesn't necessarily have to be this. It could be something else. So what I'm thinking is using evaluate curve. Does that make sense? Where I can extract a point on the curve. The only thing is, I need actually no. Before we do this, we need to create that belly, right? So I'm going to scale each one from its center. I'm going to do this. Scale each one from its center, and the factor is going to be according to a graph. I think it's just easier. Graph mapper. The range is going to be the amount of copy and paste of the fillet here. Something's happening over here. The scale. I don't want to see that yet. The steps is going to be the same as the count, -1. So x -1. I don't want it to be variables. I want it to be the algebraic form of x. That's going to be my steps. The graph is going to be like a belly, so I'm just going to go for a sign belly like this, and then here I'm going to use a remap. Bang. Like so. Do bish bash bosh. Where do I want my domain to be from? Construct domain. Between between 1 and 2, because you don't want it to be too much big. Like, you don't want it to be much bigger than it already is. So I want the domain to be quite close. 1 is exactly the same size, and then 2, 1.5. It's pretty big. We'll just have to see how it works. Factor, turn this back on and turn off the original ones. You can see we have something like that. So I think it's quite a lot. You know, you want it to be somewhat subtle, and we have something like that. I think, okay, we can play around with these values later, I guess. So right now it's not a great, like, super complicated script. Hello, welcome. So we have the scaled geometries like so. Okay, so what I was thinking, how we can create that sort of curvature on the building is kind of finding points on this curve where we considered, for example, if you have a starting point here, if we go all the way around, it's going to be a value of 1 of like 100% of the length. So here I'm thinking of using evaluate curve. Here we need a parameter. So the curve firstly has to be reparameterized. Then was it point on curve? Point on curve. No. Is it curve closest point? Do you guys know what component it is? What's that component? Curve is, it might be curve closest. No point. What's that bloody component? Curve. Points on curve. Oh, you're joking. I knew this would happen. So I actually searched, because I kind of like reflect a lot on how to do things before I do it. So I have some sort of idea as to how to do it. Shit, I don't remember how to do it. I can pull this parameter. No, it's not that. It's not that. Okay, basically I need a point to generate a point on the curve according to its percentage. I don't know. I'm going to search here quickly on Google. Okay. I don't know. Curve. I know there's a point on curve or something. Point. Bloody hell! What's the component? Is it? It might just be evaluate curve, where the parameter is the number. Wait, in theory, could it be that the parameter is just a value between here? Because I've reparameterized, the parameter is now between 0 and 1. Is that the logic? Yes, I think it is. So I think in theory what I can do is I can just copy this here. And instead of my parameter going between 1 and 1.3, I can say my minimum is going to be 0. Yeah, 0. And this is going to be 1. Right? And I think 1 is going to be too big. Oh. We'll see in a second. Yes, there we go. You can see it here. It's wrapping around the building, but I don't want it to wrap all the way around. Oh shoot, is it stuck? Oh, I think it's because my minimum 0. Okay. So if I go here, my starting point is this corner here. perhaps I don't want it to be on that corner. I want it here, more or less. There we go. So you can see we kind of follow that curvature there. So that's going to be our starting, that's going to be our end point actually. And then we need to generate another one. Well, I'm just going to copy and paste this actually. Copy paste, and the parameter here is going to be like a starting point of 0.1. So you can see here it's quite close to one another. So I'm just going to quickly change this to 0.3 perhaps. No, that's too much. 0.2. That's still too much. 0.15. And I think that's okay. And the maximum here is going to be 0.25. We want it to be somewhat slim. And then use shatter. Exactly. That's exactly what I had in mind. Nice. I can feel like you guys are understanding the vibe. So I guess here I would have to use a merge. And then here shatter. These are right. I have to use the parameter. Shoot. How can I generate the parameter? You're joking. I can use a parameter. I can use a curve closest point. That's going to generate the parameter for me. So if I connect the point here, the curve which we already have from before, which is this, then we have the parameter. Again, I'm just going to copy and paste this. Bang. Curve here, and then merge. Parameter, shatter. In theory, I'm hoping this works. And the curve is what? I can just use the same one. I can just do this. Bang. Bring this up. I guess I would have to graft and flatten. Let me quickly test this out. List. No, I don't think perhaps I don't have to. Graft. Maybe the merge isn't working properly. There we go. You can see we now select the first and the second. So I'm just going to quickly copy paste this panel, and the other one is going to be here. So I can select either one like so, right? So we have something like this. I'm thinking perhaps I should probably clean this up a little bit. Okay. Bring this over here. This I can just connect to here. Let's try and be neat. I always say the same and then end up doing complete spaghetti. Okay. Alright, we have something like this. I have both curves. The one in the inside, which is currently highlighted in green, and the exterior. Okay. Okay, so we want it to have some sort of balcony offset thing going on, right? So, how can we do this? Do you want it to have the same effect as before? It might be a good idea to do so. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of design what the floor plan is going to be, just, you know, a bit, you know, generically speaking. Offset curve. I'm going to go inwards. Balcony is going to be, you know, let's say 3. That's going to be my curve. It's going to be something like that. And then perhaps instead of going here, I can do it here, and then I can just do a fillet with a different value. There we go. A bit less, perhaps just 2 or even 1.5. And then here we can go for the, what should we do here? This is the scaled, right? So probably best if I put this next to my scaled. And then here, solid difference between the big one and the small one. Oh, okay, I need to graft and I need to save my document. So give me a sec. Save document. Okay, saved. There we have our balconies. And then we wanted to achieve that kind of crisscross. The thing is, I'm not certain it's going to work 100%, but you know, it's worth a try at least. So what I'm going to do, this has 4 sides. I can divide by 1, 2, 3 per side. Thing is, I can define the polygon here. Expression x times 2. I need to double check this in a second, but I feel like this makes sense. If not, I can change it afterwards. X times 2 here, this curve here. Now I need the other one, which is this one here. I can divide curve, count, curve. Ah, shoot. It's not considering them all as a joint curve. Why? Why? Here it is. Here it is not. Or is it? Oh, it is, because it's curved, so it doesn't give you that sense. Okay, so here I guess I can go for 3. And then we can check. Yes, okay. 2, 3. Thing is, the third one here doesn't make much sense. I'm not sure how we did it here. We did the whole corner, that's why. Here it's a little bit different because we want it to be on polygons. Different approach, I guess. I'm not sure if this part's going to work, to be honest. I'm not too confident. From here to here, we get all of these. Okay, good. Then surface split, where I'm going to be grafting. I should save this by this. I should probably graft. No, graft is not going to work. I think this works. Let me check. Let me bake. Yes, okay, so that does work. Okay, good. What happens if I dispatch? Because I have multiplied by 3 and it has multiple sides, it's an even number. So I think it should be okay. Bang. And then if I turn this off, we get that. Okay, so what I'm thinking is I should probably flip matrix. Bang. Yes. So I have here I have to do like a double dispatch, I think, where I have this, and then another dispatch without flipping. I think I might have to flip because I have to revert the flip, I think. Yeah, I think I have to revert it. Okay, let me check. Bang. Yes. Okay, that's going to be this one. And then this one here. Turn this off. And instead of here, it goes here. So you now get that zigzag where the thing I explained earlier works. Right? So for those who've just sort of arrived, we were talking about this building. So when we designed this building in the office, we do this a lot actually. This happens a lot in Spain, because on the plot where we build, you can't build on the 100% of the floor, and you want to go high up. You basically want to conserve how many meters squares you can build. So that's why it's usually thinner, because then you can go higher, because the higher the apartment, the more you can sell it for, and evidently a high rise is much more attractive than a lower, building. And what happens is that you get a certain amount of meter square usage you're allowed to build, and if you have a balcony on top of directly on top of another, like from here to here, that counts as buildable meter squared. So you're consuming your meter squared for a terrace. Whereas if you have it at double height, it doesn't compute. So what you do is you have it at double height, but you're always kind of doing like this zigzag, so you don't compute, but you're still like, you know, you're kind of being clever with, you're kind of using that disadvantage of meters squared to design your building in a different way. So here it's very attractive that you have this double height, but it's not, you know, an attractive motive as to why we designed it like this, but rather a kind of a technical way around the buildability of the meters squared, if that makes sense. So that's sort of what I'm looking for here in this part here. So we have that kind of terrace going on here, and then where are you? I'm looking for the inward one, which I'm just going to convert into a surface like so, and then we can drag this over here, and then that's going to be sort of the buildable space. And then I think the radius, the initial radius, should be a little bit bigger. I'm going to say 15. Right, and then if you have more height, not flights, it's going to be a lot more attractive. So 25. No, it's going to look better. Okay, so we have that floor plan. I'm just going to reduce it a little bit, actually. 12. There we go. We have that floor plan like so. What I'm going to do is I'm going to define the building and the interior first. I'm going to extract the surface. No, not the surface, the curve. I'm going to save. I'm going to extrude. Now the height of the extrusion is going to be the sum of, no, not the sum, the subtraction of the height of the building by the thickness of the slab. So I'm going to say the slab has a thickness of 30 centimeters. And the height difference is something we defined at the beginning with this value here, height between slabs. So this is something we need to consider over here. Yeah, okay. I'm just quickly going to relay this over here. This is Z here. This goes here. Actually, it should probably connect to the surface. No, not the surface, because you want it to be a surface. You want the extrusion to be a surface, not a solid. Okay, you can see it's a surface, polysurface to be more precise. And I guess we can just panel this. Normal panel. Where is it? Square? Rectangle? Is it called rectangle panel? No. Square panel? Ah, quad panel. Jesus. I want one of the sides to be 1 and the other one going to be whatever. Now we can be super technical about it in a minute. I'm going to deconstruct rep. I should probably calculate the length. So if I calculate the length of the edges, I can say expression, the length divided by whatever size I want the frame to be. So I'm going to say I want the frame to be 2 meters, and it's going to be x divided by y. That's going to be the division in one of these directions, which I'm not sure which one it is, but we will definitely find out in a second. Faces, there we go. Turn this off. Let me move all of this down. Let me turn this off. Okay, so I have the one in the correct direction, whereas this one is flipped. That's annoying. Let me just quickly sort this out. Like so. I don't need this. Okay. Yeah, it's not an issue. I'm not going to be too bothered about this. I'm going to go for a frame. Actually, no. Evaluate surface. Area. Bang, bang, bang. Turn this off. Frame. I'm going to offset curve. negative, frame, oh, wrong one, plane here, negative, I'm going to say 0.05, turn this here, hopefully it doesn't explode. I should probably graft. I feel like there's a grafting issue here. Let me just double check. Here. Yes, I have duplicates for some reason. Okay, let me turn this off. Make sure this is grafted. Simplified and simplified. Oh, this is a reparameterize. I don't know why I did that. Simplify. I'm going to simplify here as well, just to make sure, and enable. And in theory, bake this. Oh, that's not bueno. That's not bueno at all. What's happened here then? Panels, chord, no. I'm setting it inwards. It should work. Frame. Is it because something's happening here? I might be duplicating surfaces. Yeah, okay. That's the issue. Okay, let me turn this off. Graft, simplify, turn this back on. And I should have it sorted. Yes, now it's all nice. Okay, so here now I have this good. It's all offsetting inwards good. And then I can do a solid difference between, let me just graft and flatten, graft and simplify rather. Simplify, let's do that here. Bring this over here. Ah, okay, it did work. Okay, I thought I did it the wrong way around. Surface. So I have the frame and the windows. I'm just going to change the color so I can preview it a little bit better. This is going to be the frame. Frame is this. Here, let me copy and paste. This is going to be my window. So this is going to be blue or green, whatever. And yeah. Okay, that's going to be my window. That's my frame. And the distance is pretty big, so I'm going to go for 1.2. Going to take a second to load. Evidently, I'm creating more polygons. Oh, I don't like this. What's happening here then? Extrusion, graft. Is it because it's considering I have more edges than faces? Is that what's happening? There is a way you can test this. I can just do this. Face, edges. Maybe. We'll find out. Oh, it's overthinking. Damn. Uh-oh. Not looking good. Not looking good. Oh. Not looking good. Load. Ooh, that was risky. That was very risky. Is it because I'm extruding a ton loads of things here? Here I'm extruding by this value. No, it's a fixed value. I don't know. Faces. Okay, let me just double check something. List item. No, list length. Of this flatten panel 600 200. Yes, it is as I thought. Okay, so extrusion, I mean, this should be 600 as well. And it's not working. Why? Is it because I get a lot of values here? 600. They should match. Why does it not calculate properly? Is it because I get an invalid value here? It should work. I'm confused.com. Should I try it one more time? Just see. Yeah, I think I should. Because I'm not sure why it's not working. Actually, I'm going to reduce the number of heights I have. I'm going to make it really small, just to kind of favor the calculations a little bit more. Suspicious. Now it works. Okay. This doesn't work. Curve offset failed. Is it because it's not planar? Yeah, I thought so. Okay, there is a workaround around this. And I think it's going to be a little bit easier, to be quite frank. So the way to do it would be to shatter. No, not shatter, sorry. Divide curve by this amount. Flatten. Simplify. Simplify. I'm kind of getting to secondary stuff here, but I think it might be useful. And then here I can SDL, Z, the extrusion value, starting point, and then surface split. Actually, no, that's silly. I can do a much better thing. Polyline, close, yes indeed. Wait a second, what's happening here? Edge. What's happening? Wait, I'm going to do this part again because it's just not fun. Okay, so the idea is to divide curve, divide length. I think is going to be more appropriate. Divide length. Distance is going to be whatever. I'm going to say 2 for now. I do want it to round up, so I'm going to round up. This is my curve. There we have the distances. Then SDL direction Z. Starting point is this. This is length. Then here I'm going to loft between each group. Not sure why it's not working. No? Okay. Actually, wait. Polyline, I can do it here at the bottom. Yeah, there we go. Closed, invert. That way I can just extrude. Less components. Z. Bang. Then we have it flat. Yes, now we can do the evaluate surface. Much better. Evaluate surface. Area. Surface. Why is it not considering it a flat surface? I don't understand. No comprendo. No comprender. Anyway. Workarounds. Quickly do this over here. Move this up here. I need an offset curve. Negative. Plane. 0. Oh, this didn't work. 0.05. Curve is this. Turn this off. Solid difference. I'm going to save between the big one, small one. Didn't work. Why is it not being friendly today? Simplify. No, that's strange. Plane distance curve. Clean tree. Bang. Bang. I don't understand why. Toggle. Yeah, that's strange. Why doesn't it work? Do I have duplicate lines perhaps? Cell duplicate lines? No, I don't. Okay. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. To be honest, I no idea. I ain't got a Scooby. I ain't got a Scooby-Doo. Deconstruct. I'm not going to detain. I'm not going to stay here forever, so I'm just going to quickly do this. Can't be bothered. I'm going to do one final different method, and then I can't be bothered. I can do frame directly. It's not perfect. It's not my favorite way of doing it because it's not really that precise, but it is a workaround that serves the purpose of the design. So I'm not going to stress too much. So here, prep. Put that there, copy paste, put this over here. Same thing as before, custom preview. Swatch to change the color of the preview. This is the frame, so I'm going to go for black. Copy paste for the window. I'm going to change this to blue. Blue over here. Okie dokie, turn this off. The frame is too big. 0.95. Sure. Oh, I didn't divide it. Explode? I didn't explode. I did not explode. That's why it didn't work before. Oh, that's so bloody annoying. Anyway, doesn't matter. Not gonna spend more time on this. I'll scratch that itch later. Okay, so we have the floor plan. Now for the balconies, I'm gonna merge these two groups together. Merge. There is something I'm not sure if it's gonna work. I'm just gonna quickly test the idea I have in mind. That's one. No, it doesn't grab the same edge. Ah, bollocks. Ha 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 ha. That's annoying. That's annoying AF. I guess you could probably sort by distance to the center. And then cull the closest one. That's an interesting tactic. I'm not sure how that's going to work though. To the center of each floor. No, this is too tricky. This is too tricky. Maybe to 0, 0, 0. If I this is my curve. Okay, I reckon maybe I can use the same subgroup. I'm not sure. I is not sure if this is going to work. Let's give it a try. Middle, sort by distance. Sort list distance between the centroid and the middle point. Keys and the values are my edges. And if I list item my values, oh, it did work. So I guess I can just do this. Cull index and the value is 0. Haha! Oh. Geometry. Okay, that's cool. Join curves. Oh, wrong one. If I join curves, I'm just going to double check if it works. Indeed it does. Grasshopper. Save this quickly. Save document. Here we go. Okay. I'm just going to extrude. I can offset inwards. That's also another option. I can. Yeah, I think if I can offset inwards. Offset curve. Distance. Negative. I like giving them a thickness because when you take them, if you take this into, for example, 3D Max, if you render a surface as glass, it's not going to look great. So I always give it a thickness for the renders. So I'm taking this sort of idea into account. And then here, merge. And I'm just going to loft them together and then extrude. Graft, oh, wrong one. Graft. Graft, simplify, simplify, loft, extrude. What height should my railing have? I'm going to go for 1.2 more or less, like so, like so, and we have this going on. Okay, good. This is good. Okay. I'm also going to give this a color. This is going to be light blue. Okay. Then we have the slabs, which is this. I'm going to extrude negatively. No, where are you? Extrude Z. Z negative. I think we have negative here. No, I haven't. Negative. And this is going to be this value here. I can use this. Okay, drag this to the end. That's the slab. That's that slab. And we can do the same for, where are you? For this. I can convert this into a surface. I have it over here. Okay, it's good. It's very good. Merge this bad boy and this and this. Haha. Okay, so we have the slabs, we have the terraces. Now we're going to go for the external design. It doesn't look great now, but when we play around with the results, it's going to look better. Now this script is a little bit longer than anticipated, but I think the results might be interesting. And if not, we're learning. Or at least I am. Okay. The external part, which is two design parts, right? So it's this and this. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn all of this off for now. Turn this off. I'm left with this part and the bigger part. Okay, so what's the plan here? Offsetting in one direction. Depends on what profile we want, right? If we want this profile here, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 design parts. Interesting. We can do 5 parts, I guess. It's just going to be a little bit tedious. So what I'm thinking is that we need some space. 5 curves. Jesus. All right. How can we do this? Okay. Offset, offset, middle offset. Middle offset. Okay, so there's 5 distances. 5 distances. Okay, that's going to be a bit tricky. Okay, so let me just... We can work with one for now, which is going to be this one. Need space. Okay, I'm going to offset curve. Distance unknown. I'm going to say 0.5. Right, so that's one curve 1, 2. Here, 1, 2, and then we need another one that's going to go down. 1, 2. Move in the Z direction negatively, whatever value we want. We can say 1 meter. Don't know. This is going to be tricky, eh? It's going to be tricky. And the next one is going to be half this size. So x divided by 2. X divided by 2. Bang. No, because... no, yeah, that's correct. So it's 1, 2, 3. Currently I have... Let me just turn off the other one. There you go. Let me just turn everything else off. Okay, we're back. Turn this on. Okay, so I have 1, 2, which is the offset. One that goes down. And the other one that goes halfway down. Ah, negative. Negative 1, 2, 3, and now I need... Okay, the offset's wrong. This has to be smaller. Not too small though. 0.2. The same offset is needed at the bottom. So that's not the bottom. This is here. And then here, this one needs to be offsetted by a bigger value essentially. Not completely bigger. So I'm just going to use an addition. Addition between this and another value. This is going to be 0.5. 5. Copy paste distance. And this one's going to be to the middle. Okay, so... Whoa, okay, this is going to be tricky. Let me just quickly, 1, sort this out. 2, 3, no, this is 4. 3 is the middle one, which is this one. Okay, so I'm going to quickly place them in order. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 5 is this one here. Curve. Recycle this component here. Okay, I think we have it. 5 curves. Merge. And for this to be a little bit smoother, actually no, I could probably just do it like this, and then I can change the loft values. Oh, this is a bit of a crazy script, to be honest. Graft, 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 graft. Simplify, simplify, simplify. Simplificar, simplificar. Loft and pray. Let's save this before anything. Loft. There we go. And then loft options. Multiple things. I do want it to be closed. Do I want to adjust it? Probably. No, not rebuild, refit. No, I need the type. I think the type we're looking for is type 3. There we go. Ha. And then cap. Okay. Okay, there we go. Then we have that part. And now we have to do the same for the other one. So the good thing is that we have the same parameters here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and locate all of my numerical parameters and put them all together so that I can just copy and use the same one again to share the same numerical values, right? So what I'm going to do is quickly adjust all of this. Oh my god, spaghetti town. Damn, yeah, a lot of spaghetti going on. Let's do this as neat as possible. Okay, more or less. I can use the same values for this. So I'm going to recycle this. So this, all of this, and then I can just, yeah, I can essentially copy and paste. And then the value here is going to be this one here. And there we go. And then custom preview. Change the swatch. There we go. So we have that going on, and we have the profile nice and clean, right? So what I'm going to quickly do is add the floors we had before, 25. Like so, and then turn this on, and we have that thing going on there. And then perhaps it should go upwards, not downwards. That's annoying. I mean, it could go upwards. That's annoying. Here, I can even recycle this. Okay, bear with me 1 second. I'm just gonna try and be as clever as possible here. I can recycle this here. Copy paste. Panel. Oh shit, what was the value here? Was it 1? I think it might have been 1. Yeah. And then here I can change this. So the idea is that instead of going negative, I can go positive. And same here. And the middle point is the issue, right? Here it's not an, is it an addition? It's offset x divided by 2. Yeah, it's working. It's working. Okay, good. Custom preview. There we go. Change the color to whatever we want. Turn this off. And then I'm also going to use a custom preview here for the other one, which is going to be black. And then perhaps we want it to have more height. So let me just get rid of this negative times divided by 2. Yeah, I think this is the height we said. We can make it 4. I'm going to say 1.5. And then we get a more robust design to our building. And then perhaps the offset here is too much. So instead of 3, we can go for 2. There we go. Okay. Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all, mate. And then if we want to be even cooler with this, we can say that between 0 and let's say 0.5. And you can see it's going to go around the building. Like so. Or perhaps we want it to go all the way around, or almost all the way around. We can start doing things like this. Or if I quickly disable this, I can do this. Enable. Might take a second to load. There we go. And we start getting different patterns. Like if I change the color of this drastically, and I change it to red, you can see the pattern kind of evolving. So yeah, it's just design wise, this is a quick way to do it, to kind of come up with a nice neat design. And then, you know, this is interesting. This hard shoulder might be interesting. And I'm just thinking that the here, yeah, I mean, the domain start could be anywhere, kind of. Yeah. Like, if I say 0, no, that might be too excessive. 0.25. It's not that one. I'm looking at the wrong one. It's this one here. So I'm going to put it next to it so I don't mistake it. This, if I change this to 0, there we go. It's going to start off there. Or we can do another wave on this side, right? So perhaps we can do this, copy and paste. And then this can be perhaps negative. Negative and 0 to 0.2. That means here this would have to be shorter. And then this can go here. Like so. There we go. The starting point, I guess, would make more sense to be further away. I don't know. These are the sort of things we can play around with as much as we want. Would you use a wave in the massing? What do you mean? I'm not 100% sure I know what you mean. 0.2. I think that I'm doing something wrong here. I'm not sure what it is. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. Am I reparameterizing here? What's happening here? Parameter outside of the curve domain. Why? 0, 0.2. Negative. Oh, because it's in the negative. I guess the alternative would be 2. Okay, I can do it the other way around, and then do that. Ooh, that's interesting. That's very interesting. If I do that, and then here, do that. I don't know. It just kind of it kind of depends on what you're looking for. For the massing, the graph map is a single section of the sine wave. Ooh, I'm still not sure what you mean. For the massing, like the graph map is a single section of the sine wave. Would I use one wave? Is that essentially the question? Yeah, I think this one here is... I'm just going to keep this quite minimal. I personally would just use one wave, but evidently when you're looking at the building from multiple points of view, you would kind of want to see multiple waves. So it just kind of depends on the complexity of the design. I personally would just use one and then kind of do the symmetrical and, you know, keep it at that. So yeah, I would probably do the one we did earlier, which is this one. Yeah. The thing is, I don't know what would happen if I do 0.9. The starting point would be different. So yeah, I don't know. 0.95. You know, some people might like a hard line and then kind of a wrapping around effect, perhaps. I don't know. This just kind of depends on the person. And you have this sort of this thing going on. Yeah, it's interesting. And then Perhaps in this one here we can have some pergola or some sort of, I don't know. These are just extra things we can keep adding. So I'm just going to quickly see what this looks like. Oh, okay. Let me just change this layer's name to 6. Bake 1. What would you do? That's a good question. What would you recommend? Five. And then 6. It's interesting. And then this is the railing. And then I think this one was the interior glass. There you go. And we start getting this really interesting building. Yeah, something like this. What do you think? And it's cool because I really enjoy this thing. The only thing is the starting height should be lower. That could be quickly changed with a quick adaptation over where. I mean, I could just move it all down. Here. So that's 1.5. Height. Yes, because I'm going upwards, isn't it? That means this shatter segment. I would have to probably move this downwards. So move Z and by the slab thickness, which is somewhere I saw earlier. Where did I see it? Where's the slab thickness? Here, 30 here. This is the value we're looking for. Bang. Shatter. I'm going to put this here. Here. And it should be negative. There we go. Okay, so 5, 6. And then we have that. We have that sort of design. Okay, slabs. I'm going to put it in like this color. Yeah, perhaps the slab divisions. Oh, this was not expected. It's only on that side. Well, can't always be perfect, right? Yeah, what would happen if the slab was divided into less parts? I think it might be a little bit nicer. Issue with these scripts is that to find what I was looking for, divisions. Where's my divisions thing? Divisions, where are you? Divide curve. It's around here. Scale. Evaluate curve. Graph mapper. Bounds. Is it this value here? X minus 1 divided. This is the number of floors. If it were L-shaped, I mean, I'm not sure. I'm definitely not sure. We could try it out though. I think it might be likely that there's going to be an error somewhere if you do an L shape. I'm pretty certain it's not going to work. And if it works, pure luck. because the things with scripts, it's not always a one shoe fits all. You would have, yeah, exactly. You would have to change this part here. So here you would have to do a move Z using these values, and then instead of this polygon, you would use this here, right? Because you wouldn't use this polygon here. What's this value about? 4 sides. I mean, I could still use that. Yeah, here you would use deconstruct brep. Deconstruct brep. List length. Vertices, instead of 4, you would use this here. I think that's what changes. We'll find out. Oh, the scaling is going to be the issue. Because we're scaling. Yeah, yeah, there's going to be some issues here. As for this, I'm not sure. Oh, okay, it still works. The issues come about over here. Ah, yeah, you're going to get some issues because we're not, like, the approach wouldn't be to scale because we're scaling from the geometric center. Instead of scaling, you would have to use an offset option. But yeah, you can adapt the script. I think it's quite easy to do. I'm not sure if I'm explaining myself properly. You know, there's the part where we scale, we make it like a bump, right? Like the original design, it's not a continuous thickness. It gets bigger as it goes towards the center. But the logic on the previous one is that because it's symmetrical on all sides, we're scaling towards the center. Whereas an L doesn't have its geometric center in a good spot, let's say. The alternative here would be to scale by 1 always, and then by scaling by 1, you're going to get that perfection. And then the divisions here, this is probably going to be what's going to be most effective. So instead of dividing by 3, you would have to divide by length. So there's just other parameters you just have to take into account. I guess that's what the main difference would be. Evidently, the more divisions you have, the better it's going to be. But you can see it's kind of working. Yeah, I don't know. You would just adapt the script in another way. I guess is what I'm trying to say. You can definitely try that, mate. You can have the script, and I'll send you the script if you want it. Although it's quite bloody chaotic, ain't it? Here, I was going to change this value over here. Instead of dividing by 3, I'm going to divide by 2. Oh, that's so much nicer. And you get the long... Yeah, this makes me a lot happier. And I'm thinking a different approach. Divide curves, center. I think curve closest point. No, this isn't it. Curve closest point. This is my curve. These are my points. And then this is going to be what's going to be divided. Let me save. Instead of my center, this is going to be my new point. Yes. And it's just going to be a lot cleaner lines. It's going to be flat. It's going to be nice and perpendicular. Yes. This is so much nicer. You can see the balconies. They're now rectangular. Or more rectangular, should I say. Oh, okay, so let me just quickly grab this. And this is going to be layer 4. Yeah. Layer 4 is going to be my glass. Here, okay. Bake 4. This is going to be my layer 5. My layer 6. Save. And it's a lot nicer. Oh, thank God. I'm thinking this should probably accompany this. So one last tweak. Here. So instead of 0.95, I can go between 0.95 and 0.8, for example. Hopefully this makes sense. I'm not sure. Yes, it does. Good. This 9.5 is too big, so I'm going to go for 8.5 and 0.5. No. I need it to... Oh, because this is my starting line. Okay. Yeah. No, I don't like it. I don't like it. Don't like it. Okay, so this is my 0.2 starting from the same point. No, that's wrong. It should be 0 and then something like that. Where's my starting point? Here. There we go. Okay, good. And this is 5, 6. Okay, yeah. So yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's interesting. Oh, what happened here? Something happened here. What happened there? Oh, it's connected to something that's not meant to be connected to. Centroid. What on earth happened here? Color index. Something strange happened. What the hell? Oh, because I didn't update this. Okay. 4. This is 3. 3. There you go. Now it's updated. Do you ever use a twisted box? Not really. I have done it once or twice. Yeah, anyway, this is interesting. Whoa, what the hell happened here? Whoa, yay. My friend, what's happening here? What the fudge happened here? There we go. So from street view, you would see something like this. Yeah, it's interesting. It's very, very interesting. At least for me, it is. I don't know for you guys. What would happen if the base were triangular? That's a good question. There might be some errors. Again, with this sort of design, you can't really tell if it's always going to work. But that's where you would spend a lot of time going over the script over and over again. So here on Polygon, what would happen if it were free? Is the question. It still bloody works. Haha. Good. Thank God for that, eh? Okay, what if I made it a pentagon? Of course it works. Of course it bloody works. That's what we're saying. That's what we're saying. Good. Okay. Very good. I'm chuffed about that. Anyway, I guess that's it for today. Hopefully that was an interesting script, or is an interesting script. Yeah. What do you guys think? Was it worth it? Any shape with a center start shape. Yeah, you could also do that, I guess. You would need it to be symmetrical. You would need a symmetrical design. So I guess what you're asking is, for example, if I have something like this, right, and then I twist, in this case, 60. 60? From its center. Where's my center? Here. 60. For example. I guess this is what you're saying, right? And then it would be on the version we did below, where we have this. Let me quickly save. If I turn all of this on, let it load. Let me just turn this off. I'm not sure if it's going to work, to be honest, but we can give it a shot. I mean, in theory, it should work. Yeah, exactly. The thing is, you have a lot of divisions because you have more sides. So here, instead of 5, I would say 2. Yeah, there we go. So to answer your question, yes. I guess the condition would be it would have to be symmetrical. Info came a bit late. Oh man. Yeah, sorry about that. So to kind of summarize, this is a building we did where I work. I'm part of the design team. We did this project about 3 years ago, more or less. It wasn't done parametrically. It was done using Rhino. We did the method we were doing Rhino is the historial. There's an option where you can record history, and then you can just adapt. Right, it's similar to parametric design, but it's not as great. And then we did this kind of zigzag effect on the balconies, not for an aesthetic reason only, but for a constructive calculation. So in Spain, we have that thing where if you build a balcony on top of another one, like if I were to build another one straight above, it counts as constructed surface, and you're very limited on constructed surface, so you don't want to use all of it just on terraces, right? So what you do is you would do a zigzag, that way you have double height, and therefore it doesn't compute as constructive surface overlap. So when it doesn't overlap, it doesn't compute, essentially. So you do the zigzag effect, and yeah, ready for the rehab. You got a rehab? What's going on, mate? Yeah, it's an interesting one. Let me just quickly change this. Do. Yeah, it's interesting. I'm not sure I know what you mean. Yeah, sorry. So the balconies don't compute if you do it this way. If you build it one on top of the other, it does compute. So yeah, it's a little design trick, which turns out really well. To be honest, like in person, it's beautiful. It's a really beautiful building. So yeah. All right, guys. That's it for today, I think. So let's yeah, thank you so much for joining me as always, and I'll speak to you very, very, very soon. Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend, and yeah, hopefully this was somewhat enjoyable, endurable. Yeah. Cheers, guys. Have a great weekend. If anything, just send me any night views. Yeah, we do. There's the night views. We put a LED. There we go. You can see how it looks like at night. Really beautiful building. Turned out really well. Alright, guys. See you all very, very soon. Bye bye. Thank you for joining. Bye bye.